This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Now at 6 o'clock, we have breaking news. Former Fox News CEO Roger Ailes has died at the age of 77. We'll tell you what we know so far.
Also, take a look at this. This woman's shift was just going along normally until an SUV drives straight into that store. She should be okay, but find out why the driver lost control of that car in the first place.
Also, officials appoint a former FBI director to look into the Russia investigation, and President Trump is not happy about it. What the president tweeted this morning and why he's calling it a witch hunt. Happy Friday Eve. Thanks so much for joining us here on Sunrise.
Love when you say that. Thanks for getting up early with us. You know, kids are almost out for summer break, but there's a group of dads in Kentucky giving those students real motivation to get through the next few weeks. Look at how they greet the kids every single day like they're rock stars. They had posters, they were cheering for them, giving them high fives, but there's also a bigger message to all this. Hear from the dads about why they say they're doing this.
You know, they're giving the kids motivation. I think Rod's giving all of us some motivation with the sunshine.
You know, when I pick up my daughter from school, though, the elementary she goes to, there's one, I don't know what level she teaches, but a teacher there. And all the kids come out and do that, slap her hands as they all say goodbye. It's awesome. It's awesome to see, All right, look at the sky. It's beautiful.
Amazing.
Every camera.
Amazing.
Am I walking?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm walking?
Shoot.
I'm walking this way. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Hey, every single camera is showing at least some sunshine. Here's the view from downtown Portland. This is a very thin layer of clouds that formed a couple of hours ago. There are no signs that it's going to just re-thicken and hang around. So, and there are other areas that are just perfectly sunny. 47 degrees is our morning temperature. So the confidence is absolute. This goes on to be a nice, partly to at least mostly sunny day with temperatures warming. I know yesterday turned out to be disappointing. We'll go 47. You drop off the kids at the bus stop. 60 at lunchtime. They'll be outdoors. It'll feel quite warm. And then 67 at 3 o'clock. And we're actually projecting a high today of 71. Here's Lacey Evans.
Yeah, good morning, Rod. Things are getting much more congested on I-5 southbound out of Vancouver. It's really stop and go all the way from SR 500 to the Interstate Bridge. Highway 26 inbound, though, still looks pretty good. Just about 5 minutes from 217 to the tunnel. And we are starting to see some slowing on I-84 from Gateway into downtown Portland. So here's a look at that slowing on I-5 southbound at Mill Plain. It continues all the way to the bridge, but improves once you cross over and get into North Portland. A little slow in the Gateway area, but things still look great over on the west side on Highway 26.
Lacey, thank you. At 6:02, and we start with breaking news this morning. Fox News confirms its former CEO and chairman Roger Ailes has died. The 77-year-old started at Fox News back in 1996 and became one of the most powerful people in media. He was a longtime Republican political operative. He was forced out last year after a series of sexual harassment allegations. NBC News contributor Gabriel Sherman says Ailes had serious health issues for years.
It is 6:03 now. This morning, we've learned the name of a Portland man who was stabbed to death in the Lentz neighborhood. Take a look. This is a photo of 53-year-old Brian Bruns. Police found him at an apartment building near 99th and Holgate Wednesday night. Investigators say it started as a fight and then turned deadly. Right now, police are not releasing any information on who the killer could be.
37 years ago today, Mount St. Helens erupted. It was the worst volcanic eruption in U.S. history. Here's a time lapse of images from that day. The blast generated about 500 times the force of the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima, according to Time magazine. 57 people died, along with thousands of animals. Right now on the KGW YouTube channel, you can watch our archive footage from the day of the blast.
Now to a KGW exclusive interview. You might remember this photo. This man made national headlines in 2012 for stripping down at airport security. And now he's sharing his story. John Brennan set off security alarms when he tested positive for explosives. He says he felt the best way to prove he was not carrying a bomb was, well, to take off his clothes. He told TSA agents he had the right to do that in protest.
I was not scared. I was maybe nervous. It was a new experience. I'll say that the half a minute of taking off my clothes was the closest I've ever come to being in touch with a higher power.
Brennan was arrested and charged with indecent exposure. He spent the last 5 years fighting both criminal and civil fines. He won his criminal case, but still had to pay a $500 civil fine for interfering with the TSA. You can see the rest of that exclusive interview right now on KGW.com.
Happening today, President Trump will host Colombian President Juan Manuel Santos at the White House. This is video from a previous meeting with former President Obama. Trump and Santos will talk about Colombia's historic peace treaty that helped put an end to 5 decades of civil war. They'll also discuss drug trafficking and organized crime. Afterward, the two men will hold a joint news conference. President Trump isn't waiting until that news conference to slam the investigation into Russia. Yesterday, the Attorney General's office appointed former FBI Director Robert Mueller to look into possible connections between the Trump campaign and Russia. The president tweeted about it this morning. He called it the greatest political witch hunt of a politician in American history. He also accused the Clinton campaign and the Obama administration of illegal acts and complained that there was never a special counsel appointed for them. We have much more on this story coming up at 6:30. Why Republicans say Mueller is the right person for the job.
It is 6:06 now. Protests are planned outside of the FCC in Washington, D.C. this morning. They're angry over a controversial vote happening today. It could affect how fast your internet speed is. The 3-member panel is expected to get rid of the net neutrality rules, which are in place right now. The current law requires internet companies like Comcast and Verizon to treat all web traffic equally. Opponents argue a change in the rule will allow internet providers to favor or discriminate against certain websites.
It's 7 minutes after 6. The weather is warming up and the Multnomah County River Patrol has some advice for you. They say there are some new hazards in the Columbia River following the winter that we had. It was rough. First, they want you to watch out for the strong current. The water is moving 5 times faster than it normally does this time of year. Don't forget, it's also really cold. The water is about 50 degrees, which is 10 degrees below normal. The River Patrol says you should wear a full-body wetsuit if you plan on going into the water anytime soon.
Well, I know that a lot of people are going to want to hit the river because it's getting nicer, and this is proof. Look at this gorgeous sunrise here, the mountain in the distance. Some clouds.
Mount St. Helens,
so
on the
peaceful.
anniversary of the big eruption.
Years.
So nice to see it peaceful.
Yeah. It's always nice to see Mount St. Helens peaceful, isn't it? Yes. Whew. All right. This is it. I know I keep telling you yesterday was disappointing. I really thought the clouds were breaking. They didn't. But today, absolutely, this is the beginning of this long stretch of really nice weather. Let's start off with a little journey to the Columbia River in Vancouver. Angela Albeck took this shot yesterday or last evening during sunset time. Really pretty colors. I was along the Columbia having dinner last night, but I guess I was so busy feeding my face that I didn't look outside and notice how nice it was. Angela, thank you for posting that on my KGW Broad Hill Facebook page. All of the cameras show at least a glimmer of sun somewhere. It's kind of a mixture of cloudiness this morning. Pacific City, much like parts of the Willamette Valley this morning, 46 degrees. Notice even at the beach, winds are fairly calm. There's the clear skies up top, this little shallow deck of clouds and spots that has come in over the valley in the past couple of hours. 47 degrees, partly cloudy downtown Portland. Goes on to be a great day, 60 at lunchtime, about 67 degrees expected later today for a high temperature. Just really, really nice stuff. 67 at 3, pardon me. The high in the 4 to 5 o'clock hour expected to reach 71. All right, temperatures outside, 38 battlegrounds. So there are chilly areas, 44 down in Tigard this morning. And let's see where else. Almsville's at 40. Good morning to you. Out in Dallas, it's 39 degrees. Albany also 39. I'm giving you 2-day planners, sorry. But it's worth looking at. 60 at noon and 71 at 5 p.m. Okay, here are the other temperatures. No travel issues. Temperatures are rising rapidly over all of the mountain passes. So what was a snowstorm over the past 2 days? We'll be looking at very warm temps today. Timberline 47. Government Camp could be in the mid-50s this afternoon. 60 or so at the beach. Same thing out east with partly to mostly sunny skies. And there is the I-5 corridor of most areas expected to hit 70 degrees. Well, the only question now in the forecast is how long does this last? For crying out loud. No signs of any rain through at least Wednesday or Thursday of next week. We've got Sunday hitting 80 for the first time in this stretch. And then Tuesday could be our first 90-degree day of 2017. And the last signs of what Memorial Day weekend could look like, there's still some question as to whether or not we'll get some rain or not, but there were no signs of any big cool down or big storm front, so fingers crossed on that.
Awesome. You know, I want something more definitive than fingers crossed. You're my scientist friend.
We'll see.
Doesn't really do it for you, huh?
No, it doesn't.
Wow.
That's what I do. Thank you.
Drive times, are they looking okay?
In some spots, definitely not on I-5 southbound, though. That is our heaviest drive this morning. You can see it's going to take you more than 15 minutes, really, from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. I-5 northbound, though, still looks really good. Wilsonville to the Markham Bridge, just about 16 minutes. And things look good on I-84 in from Troutdale. Most of that slowing is inside on the Banfield, inside the Gateway area. So here's a look at that congestion. These cars are lined up on SR 14 to get to I-5 southbound. And over here on the east side, that congestion heavy in the Gateway area. Eases a little bit once you get through the Hollywood district and make your way to downtown Portland. From I-5 to Gateway, from Gateway to I-5 is just about an 8-minute drive this morning. Back to you.
Lacey, thank you. Okay, I can so relate to this story.
I know you can.
We all love our animals. Cleaning up after them, not so fun when they shed all over, because I've been noticing with the weather getting warmer, I mean, my dog's coat is shedding everywhere. It looks like it snowed in my house, so it's a problem.
We call them like tumbleweeds, just from the lab. She's got a little shepherd in her.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so you don't want all that hair basically to clog up your washer when you wash the dog's bedding or blankets. Here are 3 tricks to get rid of some of that mess. Before you wash your sheets, if they're like sleeping on your bed, put on a rubber glove, dampen it just a little bit with some water, and then run your hand over the sheets. It'll work like a lint roller, and the hair will stick to the glove.
This is one I haven't heard of before, but it makes sense. Always put the clothing or sheets in the dryer before the washer. I wish I would have done this now, because in the washer, it just gets all kind of clogged up and it gets wet and everything. So if you put it in the dryer first, maybe on a 10-minute cycle, but no heat cycle, throw in a dryer sheet with it. It'll help reduce static that keeps the hair stuck onto the fabrics, and then it can kind of get rid of some of the hair before you wash it.
And then add a ½ cup of white vinegar to the load when you throw it in the washer. Vinegar is a natural fabric softener. It'll relax fabrics and loosen up the pet hair. You also want to run the washer afterwards without any laundry in it. Once that's done, just wash the washers. I can't talk. Once that's done, wipe the washer's tub. Why can't I say that? With a damp paper towel. Basically wipe out the cylinder.
That's an easy way to put it. Well said, Brenda.